Bluemoon here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Citizen channel. As we look forward to the visit of, it was an interesting game anyway, this one, wasn't it? But it's become certainly more interesting over the last few days as I'm recording this. Of course, we look forward to the visit of Chelsea to the Etihad Stadium on the Saturday, the 8th of May 2021 at 5:30 p.m. kickoff. A little bit more on why it's more interesting, but I don't need to tell you that, do I really? But we'll have a look at that later on. It's on the Sky Sports main event and Premier League here in the UK. So we're going to have our usual features there, look at our opponents. My little starting 11, I've given myself a headache doing that one, to be honest with you, but I'll tell you about that later. The odds on the game, of course, are just for fun bets, and please, all the usual little features as we go along, all the little bits and pieces as well. So please, if you're new to this channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notification if you enjoy what you see, and tell your City supporting friends about it. I'm trying to get to 900 now by the end of the football season, so I'm through the 850s now, so if you can help me out or get someone else to subscribe as well, I'll be very appreciative for that. And you'll see lots of City stuff on there on the City playlist, but you'll also see some film and TV stuff as well. I have a film and TV channel where I review films and dramas and do information vlogs on DVD releases and what's coming to the cinema, stuff like that, as the cinemas reopen here in the UK as I'm doing this. So check that out. If it's no interest, you don't worry, there's loads of football stuff, or perhaps you know somebody who might be interested, point them in my direction as well. But there's loads of football stuff, and of course if I put loads of stuff on Twitter and Facebook as well to do with City, so if you follow or friend me on there, there's a couple of links on screen. If you follow and friend me on there, I do check every 2 or 3 days and follow everyone back on there. Please, all comments are very, very welcome. I have a live show, as you know now, if you've been with me for a while. We have a live show every UK time, 5 p.m. every Monday evening, where we discuss everything City. So if you get a chance, please, I'll put it up on Twitter when I'm going live, etc. And obviously there'll be something on YouTube, a little thumbnail there for it every Monday as well. So if you can press your notifications when you know when we're going live, and come and join us and have a chat. Try and have a bit of fun as well. It's not never ever serious with me. You know, this is about as serious as it gets when I'm doing this sort of thing like this. So there you go. If you can join us, that'd be great. So all comments are welcome. If you haven't got time for a comment today, just give us a thumbs up. It's nice to get views, but it's nice to get thumbs ups. Right, so here we go. What we're going to have a look at first. Right, we're going to have a look at a brief history, boys. But please check out my dedicated History Boys vlog, probably a 12-15 minute vlog on some past games between Manchester City and Chelsea as well. This is just like a little brief summary of it that for my other feature, so keep your eyes out for that. That'll be actually released a day after this goes out, so it should be released on the day of the game, actually, so it'll be available to peruse then or whenever you want. It's a history thing, so it doesn't matter when you watch it. Obviously, if you want to watch it before the Chelsea game, please do so, but if you want to watch it after, it doesn't make a lot of difference, to be honest with you. Yeah, so history, boys, here we go. Overall, up to and including the 1920 season, so games at home against Chelsea. This is just league games at home against Chelsea. We played 75, won 35, drawn 17 and lost 23, so at least we're on the plus side. We've scored 112 goals and we've let in 84, so that's they've scored quite a few against us, haven't they? The biggest wins, you don't have to go very far back, do we? There's the programme for it there. Obviously, I think most of you watching this will be aware of that, or were there on the day, etc. But it was, of course, a 6-0 on the 10th of February 2019. A crowd of 54,452. We were sort of slaughtered them, didn't we? Let's be honest about it. It was 4-0 at half time. Goals from Sterling 2, an Aguero hat-trick, and a Gundogan made it 6-0 by the end of the game, even with a Aguero penalty as well, so that can't be too bad, can it? But of course it was a warm-up for the Carabao Cup final, which was a couple of weeks later. There's a coincidence, isn't it? So perhaps this is a warm-up for some other Cup final as well, isn't it now? But a little, perhaps slightly more important than the Carabao. I love the Carabao Cup, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's sort of grown on me a little bit. And anyway, we'll talk about that later. I don't want to go on too much now. Yeah, it would be a warm-up for that game, of course, and we would go on to beat Chelsea, but obviously they put up a better fist of it, didn't they, in the final of that? It certainly wasn't a 6-0, was it? Our biggest defeat came back in 1932-33. Nope, I wasn't there. I'm sorry, so before you start. Yeah, it was the year we actually lost to Everton in the FA Cup final as well. We finished 16th in the league that season. Chelsea actually finished 18th, but it didn't stop us hammering us 4-1 in the penultimate game of the season at Main Road in front of a crowd of just 14,827 on May the 3rd. There was a bit of an excuse for this, though, because it was actually literally the midweek after we'd lost that FA Cup final. So I think the fans were a little bit despondent, to be fair to you. And actually, the team that played that day was identical to the team that played the cup final. No rest for the wicked there. No squad rotation in those days. But yes, that was our biggest defeat, 4-1 at Main Road to Chelsea back in 1933, long time, I would say, a bit before my time as well, so there you go. The lone City scorer that day, who scored the one goal? Well, the ever dependable, of course, Eric Brook, who actually got 177 goals for City in all competitions during his City career, but yeah, you could always rely on Eric to pop up and get us a goal. Yeah, delving back into my own little personal memories when I used to do some scrapbooks in the 90s, etc. It was 28th of March 1992 stood out for me. It took the eye. Not so much for the game. It was a bit of a disappointing 0-0 draw. The attendance was 23,633. It doesn't actually seem that high, does it? But that season we actually had the 5th highest attendances in the top division at 28,000. So even though it didn't sound much, the crowds weren't massive at grounds in the early 90s at that time. And this was the 4th game on the bounce that City had failed to score. Of course, all hopes of Europe, which had been sort of there 3 or 4 weeks before, were sort of dwindling fast as we were lacking goals and losing games. But what was more interesting, as I said to me in this game, was it was actually Steve Redmond's final game for City before he's moved to Oldham in the summer of 1992. Of course, Steve Redmond played 283 games for City, 4 substitute appearances as well, and scored 7 goals between 1985 and 1991. Right, that's the history, boys. How are Chelsea doing? Yeah, they're doing pretty well, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, I read some of the reports, certainly after I'm recording this, obviously the day after the Real Madrid game, they beat Real Madrid. I'm beginning to panic now. I mean, the press aren't sort of bigging them up a little bit as to be what a wonderful team this is. But yeah, I mean, Tuchel is doing a good job, isn't he? I mean, Chelsea sit 4th. It's unusual. They've still got work to do to claim that Champions League spot, but again, there's a proviso on that, isn't there? They don't need to worry about that if they win it. But hey, well, there's a little matter of a certain City standing in the way of that, isn't there? But yeah, but West Ham, Spurs, and Liverpool and Everton are still within striking distance. So, of course, as I said, if they do win the Champions League, it doesn't matter. But you can't put all your eggs in one basket, can you? As the old saying goes. Their away form is only slightly worse than the home form. It reads 1-8, drawn 6 and lost 3. But the last 4 league away games have been a 1-0 win over West Ham, a 4-1 win at Palace, a 0-0 with Leeds, and a 1-0 win over Liverpool. But you have to go back to the 19th of January for their last away loss, which was a 2-0 loss at Leicester City. I think they've only lost 1 game in the last 15 Premier League games, so not too bad. Squad-wise, I think they came out of it all right last night against Madrid. They've got Kovacic is injured, but he missed the Real Madrid game. But I'm not sure whether he will be available for City. But apart from that, that's it. That's as far as I know. I don't think they picked up. I looked at the match reports last night. I don't think they picked up any injuries against Real Madrid. So Mr. Tuchel's got a near full strength squad to pick from. So yeah, my little thoughts on the game. As I said, it has changed a little bit, perhaps from a few days ago. Before now we know how this Champions League has panned out. Of course, we're going to be missing John Stones again, which is a great shame. But everyone else appears fit. I think they're all okay. I mean, though, we got kicked to buggery the other night, didn't we? But perhaps 1 or 2 are sporting bruises. But I think Pep might rest a few anyway. Let's be honest about it. But yeah, it will be a near enough full squad for City as well. Yeah, Tuchel's probably still quite happy over that semi-final win. I mean, I've read reports on that back. I was there. We watched the game. Of course, I wasn't there. We watched the game, of course, but. he might be still buzzing a little bit. I mean, they've got the cup final to look forward to, haven't they? But it is an interesting dilemma with this one, because it may be a case of who blinks first between Pep and Tuchel. But I don't think it's set in stone the teams are going to put out for this league game. I mean, obviously it's important to us. If we win this game, that's it. The title's ours. But as I say, it's just as important to Chelsea, because they do want to confirm that fourth space. And even if they lose, I think they still are fourth. So even if they lost to City, it wouldn't dent the positioning. But again, they want to go into this with something. So a lot of the pundits, we'll go on to that later on, a lot of pundits are predicting a draw for this one. And just as I said, to read the press, you think we may as well give them the European trophy at the moment, because obviously Chelsea are superb. So this is what I'm reading in a couple of the papers and some of the reports on the internet this morning. But in a way, it's similar to the FA Cup semi-final, in which, let's face it, the Cup semi-final, which obviously they did beat us, deservedly so, even though we did have more chances than them. They could have had more themselves. But, City weren't exactly hammered in that one as far as possession and statistics was concerned. But the two managers, Pep didn't quite give this game his full attention, did he? And let's be honest about it. Arguably, I mean, this is perhaps getting more onto the Champions League than the game tomorrow, because obviously I think there will be changes tomorrow as well. Arguably, that team that got beat in the semi-final, there's sort of 8 players missing that are now of our, if you like, our best 11 or 12 players. So we only started 3 or 4 players out of our best 12, 13 squad players in that semi-final. So I said it was by no way was our best team. All right, perhaps wasn't Chelsea's best team, but I think they put more of their better players in it than certainly we did. But there you go. And Chelsea did deservedly win it. But let's face it, it was mainly from an error cut by ourselves, from a little bit of inexperience in defence, which is fair enough. A defence that didn't have the pace of Walker, of course, and didn't have a Mr. Stones or a Mr. Edison in goal either. So anyway, that's probably more for the looking forward to the Champions League. I'm sure we'll touch upon that bit on the next 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, a win, will it give either an advantage for the Champions League final? It won't make any difference, of course. It's a different game, but it might give a very, very small psychological advantage. But the trouble is, again, are we going to see full strength teams? I do expect Pep, and I've done my. I want Pep to play the best team he can. I want Pep to do that, but I don't think he will. I expect Pep to make at least 7 changes to that team that beat PSG. And it'd be interesting to see if Tuchel, again, who's got an almost full squad like ourselves, as I say, we're only missing Stones because of suspension. He's only missing that player early on I mentioned, Kovacic, whatever he's called. So, will he do similarly? Will he rest players? We put some of the younger ones on, who obviously were playing a lot more games earlier in the season under Lampard, of course. But yeah, so it'd be quite interesting. I don't think either manager wants to give too much away, so I think both managers might make a few changes with this. And then obviously, if they do get beat or it ends in a draw, as most pundits think, then they've not given too much away for the Champions League final. So it will be very, very interesting. Let's face it, we've got to worry about the sheer pace of Chelsea. And it's where Real Madrid struggled the other night that we have to be wary of. And we certainly, within about 2 minutes of that semi-final, we were aware of it. But we didn't really, obviously to sort of compensate for that. Pep isn't going to perhaps have to be a little bit deeper. I don't think Pep will do that anyway. So obviously you need Walker on the pitch as a star, don't you? That's your starting point as far as pace at the back is concerned. You have to have a Walker buzzing along there, don't you? But yeah, will he play tomorrow? I'm hoping he will. I'm hoping that obviously Pep will just still take an interest in this. We want if we can put this league title to bed, that's it. We've got 3 games where we can just do what we want, and these guys can have a rest. We don't play Newcastle for almost a week. I mean, that's next Friday from the Saturday. So I want him to go strong with this, as I say. But either way, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting lineups from both managers. And having said that, I think it's going to be, I think going to be a similar thing. I think Chelsea are just going to sort of soak up City and try and hit us again on the break and do what they did so successfully at Wembley not so long ago. So yeah, it would be an interesting. I don't think it's going to be the greatest game in the world on Saturday. And I think is there too much at stake? Is a draw possible? I mean, I'm not bothered about a draw, but we want to win, don't we, to seal that title so that we can get it for ourselves. So I'm going to do an 11 here. and I'm going to go for 7 changes to the PSG game, but to be honest with you, I'll be happy with 0 changes. I was happy with 11 from Pep, so I don't mind getting 7 or 8 wrong on this. It doesn't bother me one iota, because as I said, I don't know how Pep is going to play this. I mean, if you can tell me, I don't know. We picked the same 11 last week, but I'm sorry, my psychic abilities and Pep's, I'm sort of linked at the moment. I've not had any feedback at all. He's not rang me to let me know. So this is what I'm going for anyway. I'll stop waffling. I'll get on with the team. This is my team. I think Pep will play. This is my team. I don't particularly want to play, but this is what I think may turn out. I think he'll go Ederson. I don't think he'll stick Stefan in. I mean, if we win this tomorrow, Stefan can play the last 3. It doesn't matter. But I mean, the players still need match practice, don't they? Ederson still needs to play. Still needs the pressure of a proper match. Even though obviously at that stage, if we won the league, they'd become a bit more of a friendly match, don't they? As far as City are concerned, anyway. But there we go. Yeah, I'm going to go Ederson. I don't think if you put Stefan in, I think he's taking the mick, to be honest with you. Ederson, Walker. I think Walker will get a game just in case for that little bit of pace. But initially, I didn't put Walker in. I put Cancelo in with Mendy on the other side. But I'll go with this anyway. Ederson, Walker, Laporte, Ake, Cancelo. That's your back 5. In the middle, Rodri. I've gone and I've put Gundogan obviously just slightly in front, but Rodri being your holding midfielder, and I think he'll rest Ferner. I can't see Ferner playing, can you? And Gundogan and Bernardo as well. He did bring Bernardo off, didn't he? And it's whether he's fit enough, obviously, but I think we need that legs in the middle as well against Chelsea. So I've put Rodri, Gundogan and Bernardo. And then up front, yeah, similar to... is it the Palace game? I've gone Sterling, Jesus and Aguero as my front 3. And as I said, I hope I'll get about 7 or 8 wrong on that one, and he plays quite a full-strength team. As I said, if they come out of that game against PSG fit and firing, we've not had to travel anywhere. They're all fit. As I say, we don't play Newcastle for 6 days after, so why not go for the full strength? And also, all right, injuries-wise, yeah, of course, but they can get injured playing just training. I know we're probably only not doing intensive training at the moment, but it can happen any time. So anyway, I'll go with that, and I hope I'm miles wrong with that starting 11. Let me know what you think anyway. Your starting 11. What you think of the game and what's going to happen? Match officials for the game, Anthony Taylor's the ref, assistants Gary Bezic, he's the lino, and Adam Nunn's the lino. Fourth official, Jonathan Moss, yeah, he can sit on he might bring a chair with him to sit on while he's watching the game from the sideline. VAR, Stuart Atwell, and assistant VAR, Andy Halliday. Yeah, my score prediction, my main score prediction, I'm going to go 1-0 for City. I will have another little prediction later, but I'll go 1-0 for City in this one. Right, the odds, here we go. Please, I don't condone gambling when the fun stop. I just do this for a bit of interest, and it's a good job really, because a total wipeout in the PSG game, even though we won it. Obviously I was positive on the bets, but I just sort of missed out on the score line, and I missed out on the winning margin. I nearly did a 2-goal margin, but I stuck with 1, so I lost out on that. I also had 2-1, so I missed out on that. So a 4-point wipeout, so a bit of a disaster, but hey, it doesn't matter as much when we win the game. Usually when we get a wipeout, it means City haven't done very well, because I'm always quite positive with the bets. But there we go. That happens. It's just one of those things. Yeah, obviously we're no betting on City for the title now, but Chelsea are 4-11 for a top 4 finish. So the bookies aren't giving too much away on that one, are they? The match odds, here we go. First couple of bets. I don't usually bet on the match odds, but you can get a City win at 10-11. I thought, well, if we can't follow our team and go for a City win at 10-11, nearly evens. I'll take that. When you go 1-5, 1-7, 1-3 all season. So I'm going to have 2 points on a City win at 10-11. And yeah, I have listened to the pundits, and I have looked at some of the arguments about the game, and they are saying that they do fancy this to be a draw because of the circumstances. City going for the title and Chelsea still going to try and keep that 4th spot. But they may both managers will make changes, could make changes. I think we're slightly stronger if we make changes, but Yeah, so I'm going to go half a point on the draw as well, because that's 5-2 for the draw. So I'll go half a point on that just as well as the winner. As I said, that's a little bit negative, but I'll go for that just for a bit of fun, just for an interest if it doesn't quite pan out. If you fancy a Chelsea win, it's 16-5. First goal scorer, yeah, that's interesting. Aguero, I think he'll plays 4-1. Sterling's 13-2, and Torres is 7-1. So I think all three of them might play. Two of them might play, and we might get all three playing. Both teams to score. Interesting. No is 9-10, and yes is 19-20. So again, you can make a bit of money on that if you fancy either of those two. So I won't put you off either of them. And correct scores, yeah, the 1-0 I mentioned before, that's 6-1. So I've had a half a point on that. And I've gone 2-1. I've gone 2-1 as well. I've not gone for the draw. I've been a coward and gone for a draw. I've gone 2-1, so that's 9-1. So I've had half a point on that. If you fancied a 2-0 win like it was at their place back in January, was it? That's 8-1, a 2-0, a 3-1, which is a steady score, isn't it? That's 18-1. If you fancy us to beat them 6-0 again, like a certain game here in the background, that's 125-1 you can get on that. So you put a quid on that, you might lose a quid probably, but there you go. 125-1. Half time, full time, yes. City's 11-5. Not bad. Chelsea City is 25-1. So hey, we're kings of the comeback, aren't we, at the moment now? We seem to be able to come back in games all of a sudden, which we couldn't do for love nor money a couple of months ago. That's 25-1 for Chelsea to win at half time, City to win at full time. And for a draw at half time and City to win full time is 4-1. So that's not a bad price either. But another bet, is this my last bet? Let me just have a quick look down here. Yeah, this is my last bet of the day. Yeah, anytime goal scorer. Yes, I know. I must be running a temperature. I've gone for Sterling as anytime goal scorer. He's got to put one in, hasn't he? He's got. And if he gets a full game, surely he's got a chance, hasn't he? So I've gone half a point. I'm not going to go mad on Sterling anytime goal scorer at 12-5. A couple of other interesting ones. Gundogan's 11-4. That's not too bad if he plays, and obviously Torres is 7-2, and that's not too bad if he plays as well. The corner markets under and over 9.5 at the same price. They're both 5-6, and I wouldn't put you off either of those. To be honest with you, I think the semi-final, FA Cup semi-final, I think there's 9 corners in the game, and I think, as I say, it's. You could do either. If I had to pick one, I would probably say under 9.5, so 9 and less, but both at 5-6, so that's worth a look at, isn't it? And under over goals in the game, yeah, I nearly put a little one on this one, but I won't. Over 2.5 is 6-5. The bookies aren't confident of a high scoring game with this one. Over 3.5, you can get 3-1. And if you fancied a sort of under 2.5, so a 1-0 or a 1-1 or a 0-0, you can get 4-6 with the bookies. These are all the major bookies, don't forget. Obviously, smaller bookies, you might be able to get some better prices, but I'm just looking at some of the best prices with the major bookies. And the goal margins, 1 goal margin is 5-2, and 2 goal margin is 9-2. So if you fancy City to win by 1 goal, they're not bad if you're more positive with that. But there you go. Let me know what you're doing, and let me know what your little flutter is for this City Chelsea game. We're Not Really Here show yet. We have a finish on that one. Natalie Pike is in charge this week, and she's going to be joined in the studio by Jolyon Lescott, he's top of the league, and Nedum Anua. That's how you pronounce it, Nedum. My apologies if it isn't, but they're obviously about an hour before the game starts at half time and 10 or 15 minutes after the game as well. So join Natalie Pike. If that's your sort of thing, I do dip in and out of that. Sometimes it does pop up and I have a listen for 5 or 10 minutes and then do something else. But We're Not Really Here show. Natalie Pike with Nedum Anua and Jolyon Lescott. So there you go. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Anything untoward. It's very interesting. It certainly didn't seem this interesting. Well, it was an interesting game. We can win the title. Nothing less interesting about that, is there? But it's got a little side thing to it now with this Champions League, and obviously be interesting. It'll be an interesting game. And I think whatever players Tuchel puts out, I think he'll play a similar system to what he will try and play, I think, in the Champions League final. I'm fairly sure. But I think Pep will keep his cards close to his chest as well. I think I did think that that FA Cup semi-final, Chelsea probably might... We're pretty good. Could they be better slightly? But I also think City could be about a two gears better. I think we could have easily gone up 1 or 2 gears with better players on the pitch. So again, I'm not too say that if I read all the press reports this morning, we may as well give the European Cup to him now. But no, I'm still reasonably happy with that. I wasn't bothered either way, to be honest, whether it was Real Madrid or Chelsea. It didn't bother me one iota, but let me know what you think anyway. I'll be back, of course, with a review of this game. It's a 5:30 kickoff, so probably gonna be Sunday. It's gonna be Sunday morning I do that, so it'll be out by Sunday lunchtime, the review. If it'd been a 3 o'clock kickoff, I might have got it out on the Saturday night, but so that'll be the review. And please check out, of course, that history vlog, as I said, City versus Chelsea, looking at 4 or 5 games from the past. A couple we mentioned earlier on, but some other games as well, and some other lots of information interesting, including a couple of match reports and various bits and pieces. So check out the history vlog, which is available from the morning of the match. And of course this one, I've just did a little book club. You know, I do my book club things, a new feature I've got. Well, I've just done a little thing on that as well. From What It Is to Be Blue by Bill Cronshaw, which he kindly sent me this week. Fantastic little booklet, great stuff. So please check that out as well. That's available now, so have a look at that on the playlist as well. In the City Book Club, a special one on the brand new publication. Absolutely fantastic. Anyway, thanks for joining me. What we're going to do the rest of the day. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. So I'll see you here again on the Citizen channel. Have a flit across. Have a look at my film and TV channel. Whatever it is, all I ever ask you to do is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.